And good morning. Hey, welcome to Breakthrough Walls. I'm Ken Walls, and I am your host. I got to tell you, I had to dress down a little bit today because the air conditioning is out in my house and it's hot, so I'm not wearing a sport coat. My apologies. So, but with that being said, I want to go ahead and tell you that I have a super amazing woman on the show today. She is incredible. I want to welcome Rachel Murphy to my show. Welcome.
Thank you, Ken. It's such an honor and pleasure to be here.
It's awesome to have you here. So as we already talked about, and I know you've seen the show, I put this show together to help people have a breakthrough in life, to get unstuck, to get past the things that are holding them back. And I know you've had your share of ups and downs in life, and that's what this is about. It's about helping the world, giving back, so to speak. So let's start with where you were born and raised.
Okay, well, I was born in New York, in Cortland, New York. I left there when I was very little. I've lived all over the United States. Moved to Kansas when I was 12, and I'm a Kansas gal. I've been here most of my life, and I'm one of those weirdos because I absolutely love Kansas. You will never find a more beautiful sunset than what we have here in Kansas.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. So you were born in what part of New York?
Cortland.
Is so that's upstate?
I left when I was 2 and I haven't been back, so I've got no idea.
Okay. Well, so let's talk about, as a child, like what were some of the childhood influences or events that kind of made you who you are as an adult?
Well, like many of the guests on your show, I did not have the perfect upbringing childhood. My mother had a very rough life and was married multiple times. I was her oldest child, so I got to go through all of those experiences with her. But it was amazing to watch my mom become the woman that she is. And so she was a great influence because I watched her overcome very abusive relationships. I watched her overcome, being a single mom and raising 4 kids. And so she was a beautiful influence. But I also knew that when I became an adult, I went through a lot of abuses as a child. And when I was a kid, I was a victim. And I knew I wasn't going to allow myself to be that as an adult. I say a lot of people who have very hard childhoods, who let that carry them into their adult life, they're a victim of this or a victim of that. Well, I'm not a victim. I'm a survivor. And, that's really helped me even as an entrepreneur because I know I can accomplish anything I set my mind to.
Yep, I love that.
Thank you.
By the way, your camera is so blurry, like I can't even make you out hardly. It's crazy.
I wonder what's going on.
I don't know because before we started, it was somewhat clear. But it's we'll get through it.
Okay.
So, but anyway, so you went through, all of this. Let me check one thing real quick here. So you went through all of this. Here we go. I had to fix something on the stream. So you went through all of this as a child. You went through, abuse. You survived the abuse. You saw your mother go through some abusive relationships, and So you moved to Kansas when you were 2?
No, when I was 12.
Oh, when you were
Before that I lived all over. One of my mom's husbands was a welder, and so we went where the work was.
Oh, okay.
So I lived in almost every state.
Oh my goodness. So wow. So you moved around a lot then, and at the age of 12 you ended up in Kansas.
Yes.
What part of Kansas?
I'm outside of Wichita. We moved to Wichita, but I actually live outside of Wichita.
Oh, okay. So you ended up in Wichita. Funny, my sister, her husband was an Air Force pilot, and they were stationed in Wichita for, I think, a couple, 2-3 years maybe, and I visited them out there. I went out there and spent a week with them actually. So I can say I've been to Wichita, Kansas.
And you've seen our sunsets.
Yeah, I don't remember them, but I used to drink a lot. So, but so you here you are, 12 years old. You ended up. So you were going to, you went to a bunch of different schools then as a kid.
Yes, in my 7th grade year, I went to 7 different schools.
In 1 year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness! Wow. So at 12 years old, you're going into what, 8th grade maybe? 7th or 8th?
7th grade, yeah.
Okay. And that's where you stayed, though, from that point forward, was in Kansas?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
At one point, I moved for a very short time to Missouri as an adult and went to college out there.
Okay.
And then I came back again.
Okay. So you went to middle school, high school, all that in Kansas, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And then
the most stability of my school year.
Yeah, right. So you finally got rooted somewhere. So when you graduated high school, you went to college?
I did. I went to college for a year. I didn't do it until after I had 3 children. And so trying to go to college with 3 children, small children, a little difficult, a little hard.
I would imagine. Oh, my gosh.
So,
what's that?
Oh, I just went 1 year.
Okay, so wait, so right out of high school you started having kids?
Well, pretty close. I was 20.
Huh? Oh, 20, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So tell me what happened though, right out of high school. What did you start working somewhere? Did you?
I did. I just started working and got into a pretty serious relationship and just kind of decided to stay put. And then babies came along and,
yeah. Yeah.
Life happens.
It does. So, how did that go for you?
I absolutely loved going to school. I learned some great things, but then I also learned that I had enough passion in me that I didn't have to have that degree in order to become the success that I wanted to be.
Right.
So it was great. It was hard, like I said. My youngest at the time was 2, and then my other one was 5 and 7. So I was taking on a lot by going to school at that time. I was, going full. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to go all the way.
Yeah.
So I was taking full courses, credit hours, and so, it was good, but I was very grateful to just be able to figure out what I wanted to do and knew that I could do that on my own.
Yeah. So at that point, you said you had 3 babies?
3 babies.
Oh my goodness! Wow. And so you were in. You'd have to, unless it was the Immaculate Inception, you were or conception. You were in a relationship or married?
Yes, I was married.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. and so you had this whole and you had a job?
Yes.
Wow. Wow. So here you are in Wichita, Kansas, 3 babies, young newlywed wife, and a job and going to college.
Well, I wasn't a newlywed. By that time, we had been married for 7 years.
Oh.
And I was actually in Missouri when we were going to college. My husband had lost his job at Boeing.
Oh.
And so we moved to Missouri for him to go work where we have family.
Oh, I got you.
So,
okay.
Yeah, I was in my late 20s.
Okay. So that's when. So it was your late 20s when you decided to go to college.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Gotcha. And what were you pursuing in college?
Business.
Okay.
Business degree.
Okay. So, what happened next?
Well, I got divorced, married my high school sweetheart. We've been together 18 years now.
Wow.
Picked up a bonus daughter and started my first company by myself. I just opened up a daycare, but I ran it like a business. I actually had paid vacation, sick leave. Kansas actually used me as a study for how to run a correct daycare home.
Wow.
Because of all of the plans that I put together and so I did that until my youngest 2 started kindergarten. And the day they did, I went back into the workforce because I was done with childcare.
Wow. Yeah. I can't even imagine. Like that would be a challenge. Yeah.
It was, but it was good. I was there for my kids, so.
So you owned a business and then you went back into the workforce, meaning you got a job somewhere else working for someone else.
Yes, I was a business manager for Clinique, and I ran a $1.2 million makeup counter.
Wow.
Which is a lot of lipstick.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. And then I left that to go into marketing and became a director of marketing for a company. And then 3 years ago, in October, I decided to start my own company.
Wow.
And that's where Simplify My Life was born.
That is awesome. So you realized along the way that, and most true entrepreneurs hit this wall where it's like, I can't work for somebody else. Like,
yeah.
I got to do my own thing, right?
Yes.
And what was that? Was there a moment? Was there a defining moment for you where you were like, I can't do this anymore?
You almost slipped.
Yeah, that's all right. It's my show. We can slip all day long.
Okay, I love it. I had a grandchild coming. My oldest daughter was expecting.
Okay.
And I knew that I wanted to be able to help out with him as much as possible. Right. And so I was sitting on the couch, and I was just thinking, what is it that I can do? And I love to organize. I love to help people clear the clutter and the walls, the blockades that are in their lives out of the way. I've been doing that for years and years for family and friends. And I was actually working in real estate, and that's what I would do is I would go into homes we were getting ready to sell, and I would help them clear out the clutter, stage, and sell their house. And what we found is that it was selling 80% faster than our competition and for more money. And so I thought, I can do this for somebody else. I can do this for myself. And so I was sitting on the couch and I thought, what if I become a professional organizer? And that's when all those doubting thoughts come into your head. There's no such thing. What are you thinking? And I heard a voice as clear as day say, just do it.
Yeah.
So I did. and I absolutely love it. I, on a daily basis, get to help people make breakthroughs,
Wow.
and it's life changing.
So tell me what's that entail? What's that mean? You go into their home or their business and help them?
Absolutely. I've worked with people who simply want to organize and declutter a closet or a pantry, all the way to hoarders.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Hoarders? You work with hoarders?
I do.
Oh, my
I do.
Lord have mercy.
And
Wow.
it is amazing to watch the growth that they have and to watch things change. Like, I tease that I get to be a doctor without having to go to school.
Yeah.
Because I get to change lives. I get to literally save lives and help families move from clutter and chaos and disorganization and frustration to systems and happiness and joy. And, I watch people lose weight, get in relationships, leave bad jobs, leave bad relationships, start their own businesses. And I got to be the starting point for all of that.
Wow.
It's amazing. It's a blessing.
Yeah, that's incredible. So, so let's say that, oddly enough, my grandmother, God rest her soul, she was a hoarder. I mean, like, she would go to Sam's Club and she would buy, I don't know, cases of candy bars, and she didn't even need them. Like, she didn't even eat them. They weren't or she would buy, all these different things, and I loved her to death. She's an amazing woman, but you'd walk in her house and you'd have to, and it was a huge old Victorian home, and you'd have to go follow the path. There was literally paths, and so I've seen that. What is the, and again, I don't know how many hoarders watch my show, but what causes that, do you think?
Well, usually there's trauma, or there's loss, or there's fear that there's not enough. We might run out. I might need it. Something might happen. A lot of people have had lost fires, lost job, all of that. But, the thing that people don't seem to understand is that clutter takes more than just our space. It takes our time and our energy, our dreams, our hobbies. It costs us our relationships. And clutter isn't just physical stuff. It can also be very much emotional stuff. And so with hoarders, you have the two that combine to create that situation.
Right. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So, what do you do because, okay, let's say that you go in and you help a hoarder clear the clutter. There's a book called Clear the Clutter. I remember here. There's a book called Clear Your Clutter or something like that. I remember seeing it.
I believe it. There's a 1,000 books out there, and they're usually in a hoarder's home. Right.
But you go in and you help somebody, organize, clear the clutter, get their stuff on track. What do you do to, what's going to prevent them from going back to it? What if they get all this?
Great question.
Get all this organization all of a sudden in their lives, and then boom, all of a sudden they're like, hey, I just saw, I just spent $20,000 at Sam's Club today buying more candy bars, So, yeah, how do you prevent them from? Yeah.
Well, that's a great question. And the first thing is, with your grandma, they have to be ready. And a lot of family members with people who have hoarder situations, they want to come in and just clean everything up. And so they'll just start grabbing stuff and throwing it away. And for a true hoarder, that shuts them down.
Ah.
Now you're fighting that situation. And so I really take my time to go in there and talk with them and figure out what the roadblocks are so that we can have that breakthrough.
So, but it's mental. I mean, right?
Oh, it's so much mental.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. People tease me. They're like, you're not just a professional organizer, you're a therapist. And I'm like,
Right.
honestly, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to be.
Degree.
You would have to
And
be.
so, people who will just go into a hoarder's home and clear things out and not do it the right way, that situation's going to come back.
Yeah.
Because this person feels betrayed, they feel a loss, and the bad thing is they're going to bring back more fast because they're going to hide stuff now in case you find the first one, and then they're going to hide another one in case you find the second one.
Wow.
And so the situation just keeps growing and growing and growing.
Right.
But if you can help them have that breakthrough,
Yeah.
if you can help them grow and clearly see the vision they want for their lives, not that you want, but what they want, and help them start to see that,
Yeah.
amazing things happen.
That is so awesome. That
It's
is awesome.
incredible. It's a huge blessing to get to do what I do.
Well, so you go in and does it work every time?
In 3 years, I've had one client who I kind of knew she wasn't ready, but she kept telling me she was.
Yeah.
So I've lost one client because my rules with hoarders is I can't do it all at once. It's too physical. It's too emotional for both of us.
Yeah.
And so I go back, but I don't come back if you can't maintain what we already did. And I'm really strict with my rules.
Yeah. That's awesome. So what, in your experience, and I know, you've owned a business for 3 years. So, I mean, I think as you go, and I don't know how many clients you've had in those 3 years. Sounds like you're doing pretty well with it. But in so far in your life, and you said something about a grandchild. How in the world are you even close enough to being? You're not old enough to have a grandchild. My
you are
Lord.
so kind. I'm almost 50. Thank you.
Shut up. No, you're not.
Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I am 50. I just turned 50. So
You look good too, Ken. So you're doing good too.
well, thank you. So along your journey so far, and I'm not saying this makes you, none of us are really experts, but in your opinion, what is it that you think holds people back in life from achieving, number one, happiness or, tremendous success?
Fear. I mean, that attitude of there's not enough, lack of gratitude for what you have and where you're at, because lack of gratitude makes us feel like there's just not enough. There's not enough to go around. There's not enough success. There's not enough happiness. Obviously childhood traumas follow us. Sad statistic is that for children who are raised in a hoarder situation, they're usually either going to become worse than their parents if there isn't anybody there to help break that cycle.
It's a statistic?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it's horrible. It's heartbreaking. It really is. That's why I feel so privileged to help the families that I have. And in my 3 years, I've helped about 100 homes, businesses, or families.
Wow.
So I've had a very successful business.
Wow.
Very successful business.
That's awesome. And you started this with I'm just going to help people.
I put my first ad out on Facebook, just kind of jumped past the fear and said, what's the worst that can happen?
Right. Right.
Nobody responds. And within a couple of days, I had my first client. And now 95% of my business comes from personal referrals or people finding me.
Wow. That is awesome.
It's amazing.
That's awesome. So you have you've built this business with 100 or more clients, and so what kinds of, like, maybe it's not a hoarding situation, maybe it's just a paperwork situation.
Right.
How do you help? I mean, can you go into a law practice and help them?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, the first thing that I do in any situation, hoarder, closet, pantry, business, church, whatever, is I get a clear vision of what they want. Because a lot of people, and I think where a lot of fear comes in, no matter what we do, is when somebody comes in and they demand that we do it their way. And we no longer have skin in the game. It's not our vision, it's their vision.
Right.
Vision.
Right.
It's how they think it should be done. And so I really take my time with my clients. When we first meet, we usually spend an hour to 2 hours together just talking. And I interview them. They go through an interview process to work with me.
Wow.
And I decide if they're ready or not by the way that they answer. And I ask a lot of the same questions that you do on your show. Childhood questions. I need to know about traumas. I need to, know, did they grow up in an organized or disorganized home?
Right.
Because a lot of people who are disorganized as adults had very strict, organized parents. And so it's their way to rebel in their own space, but it gets out of hand because all of a sudden it takes over and now it's stressful, frustrating. They don't know where to start.
Isn't it interesting though that so many people, and I believe the majority of people are, especially if you grew up in a strict home, are still way into adulthood, rebelling against childhood.
Yes, and it's really interesting because I will bring that up a lot of times because when they're telling me their story, they're telling me how strict their parents were.
Yeah.
And I'll say, so do you feel at all like maybe you're rebelling against that? And they're like, yeah, I am. Like, it's like an aha moment for them. Like, that's exactly the reason why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, but it's out of hand. It's more than what I want.
Right.
And so we will figure out how to still give them that freedom by creating systems that work for them. And that's what I do, is together we work as a team and I help them create systems that are going to fit their lives, not mine.
And how does that work though? How do you, is it like a one-time visit, or is it like a 2-3 month process, a year? How's it work?
It truly depends on the clients. Most of my clients, because I don't do a lot of hoarders, mentally, I could not do it. It takes a lot out of me as well.
Yeah.
Not to mention the physical. Like, I worked with one and I spent 160 hours with her.
Wow. Did you help
her?
her?
Her went 160 hours.
Wow.
But she's got an almost 5,000 square foot home that was just covered.
Oh, good God. Wow.
Yeah, it happens, and it doesn't matter what your social status is. I've been in $1 million homes, and I've been in $30,000 homes.
Yeah.
Or what your job is. I've been in a doctor's home. I've been in a lawyer's home. I've, been with housewives, nurses. It doesn't matter.
Right.
And the really important thing to remember is we should never judge somebody else's situation. Because we don't know what God's for.
That's right. I agree.
And so I leave judgment right there at the door.
Yeah.
I'm there to help with whatever, depending on how much time. But like my smaller clients, I like to get in there and get it done.
But like, I'm curious because, you know, I was, you know, in a few days on August the 10th, I celebrate 16 years of sobriety. And I don't say that it's a gift, it's a blessing. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying, like, I there was many years before that, like, if you said I had a problem with drinking or alcohol and you were in my life in any way, you were gone, man. I got rid of you. Like, you don't tell me I have a problem. So, like, you know, which is denial, right? It's not a river.
Right.
Denial is not a river in Egypt. My question for you, Rachel, is how. I mean, I can't imagine if I were a hoarder, which, looking at all my books and stuff, you might think I am, but I'm not. So, but, like, you know, if I were a hoarder or I was somebody that was, you know, at the, I don't know. I mean, what is the genesis of reaching out to you? What's the starting point? Why do people? I can't imagine calling you and saying, my life's a disorganized, disheveled mess. I need your help. I can't imagine doing that.
But you wouldn't believe how many people are. And the reason, Ken,
Wow.
is because they just can't breathe anymore. They can't live that way anymore. The frustration, the fights, I'll get calls all the time where it's like, I've got to do something or we're getting divorced. You know, our family's going to break up if we don't do something. You know, it's a lot of, when I get the calls, there's usually a lot of tears involved.
Wow.
And I try to let my clients know that, number one, I'm proud of them because it's not easy to ask for help.
Right.
But like with you and your sobriety, when you were ready.
Right.
When you were ready.
That's right.
You were ready.
Yep.
And so finally you would listen to the advice, take the steps.
Yep.
You knew you wanted something different.
Right. You're
and
right.
You did it. And even though it's been hard, I'm sure at times, you've had continued success.
Yeah.
And that's the heart of it, is you have to be ready for the change because it is a lifestyle change. But I also don't come into your home, your work, your space and tell you how things are going to be.
Right.
Because that's not my job. My job is to help you see the life that you want and to help make that happen.
Yeah, I get it. Wow. So, wow, that's incredible. Now, is this always like you visit the place, or do you do any of this virtually?
I did one garage for a trucker. That was a 2-car garage, and she couldn't get even one small car in there. And I did that through text and the phone while she was traveling.
Wow.
Which, that was a jump.
but I mean, you know, so again, you know, and I'm a huge advocate of Grant Cardone and expanding and growth and all of that. Giving you more room to hoard if you need it. I'm just kidding. But no, I mean, I'm kidding. So if I'm talking though, like, okay, there are 2 billion people on Facebook, and if you know, I guess, is there not a way that you could do this virtually also,
absolutely.
on
Absolutely.
Zoom meetings or whatever, and help people?
Absolutely, yeah. My business isn't just being a professional organizer and going into homes. Okay. I've actually got my first keynote. I'll be a keynote speaker at a conference in April. I go do seminars. I've done a webinar for 200 professional organizers on how to work with the really big jobs. So I did training for that. I'm actually being licensed this very month in the state of Kansas, and I'm going to present to insurance agents and claim adjusters for their continuing education on understanding hoarders and how to work with those claims. I'm going to be on TV here locally Wednesday for back to school segment. So I'm growing. My business is definitely growing.
That is so awesome. Good for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good for
and the
you.
neat thing is they've all contacted me. So yay.
Yes, that's awesome. And I you know, this will be on my TV channel on Binge Networks, which has about 5 million viewers, and
I know.
And I was told that I have the #1 show on the network, so
wow.
Yeah, we'll get a lot of views here on Binge, but and also Facebook. We don't have a lot of people on right now, but that happens. It's an odd time of day for most people, so
right.
But the replay viewers will definitely see this. So you know, with the I think it's incredible. #1, you know, we have similar childhoods. I think it's incredible that you are doing what you do. I think it's amazing. What, and just curious, what do you charge by the hour? You don't tell?
No, I do. I charge $45 an hour.
You what?
$45 an hour.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh my gosh,
you know,
that's crazy.
I could charge a lot more. Most people in our area charge closer to $65, $75. Where you're at, they charge $100 to $125.
Yeah.
But I do this because I love it.
Yeah.
My husband has a great job. We've been very financially responsible. We got into crypto, so that has been a huge blessing. So financially, we're pretty good.
Good.
And so I do this because I want to help as many families as I can live the life that they deserve.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So,
thank you.
So, hey, I could have been like Grant Cardone. He asks everybody, so what's your net worth?
Ooh, that's ouchy.
Yeah, he asks everybody. But you know, I
have an answer for that, though. My net worth is undecided. It's still growing.
There you go. Perfect. So as you continue to do this, I mean, I think it's amazing. Actually, there's a lady on here that made a comment. Her name's, I think it's Willa Cooper, says Rachel is amazing. I've seen her work. So
thank you, Willa. Thank you so much.
That's awesome. So, and Renee Envy says, it's so important. Jim Rohn says, if you go home and clean up a mess, you can make way for a big change in your life.
Absolutely. And that's not just physical. That is up here as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. I write a little bit about that in my book, as a matter of fact. So if somebody came to you and they said, my life is a mess, my house is a disaster, my electric's getting shut off tomorrow, I'm getting evicted or foreclosed on, I can't figure anything out, I don't know what way to turn, I'm completely and totally stuck and I don't know what to do. What's the first thing you're going to say to that person?
Where do you want to go? What is getting in the way that all these things are happening? Like, I need to know what's truly going on in here and in here before we get to the stuff. The stuff is just a byproduct. However, if they're getting evicted and all of that's going on, I mean, you've got to get them someplace safe again. you know. So there's a lot of different things going on with that scenario. But it's still finding out, why are they stuck? Why are they living that way? Because when you figure that out, and then you see a clear vision of where they want to go, you can take the steps to start to help them get there.
Right. I love it. Love that.
Thank you.
So what's next for you? What's coming up for you besides a local TV appearance this week? You're keynoting a conference. Like, you got a lot of great things happening. What's next on the big goal list for you?
Starting a podcast.
Oh, nice.
So I can reach more people and answer their questions. Because, you know, Ken, the really nice thing is, for a lot of people, they don't need me for very long.
Right.
They just need to get past that overwhelm.
Yeah.
And, you know, it is nice to make money, obviously. That's why we work, right?
Yeah.
But if I can help them take those steps to where they can start to do a lot of it themselves, and I feel like with a podcast, if they can ask me questions, maybe I can give them that push.
Yeah.
And then they can start to do that for themselves, which helps more people.
Sure.
And it's all about helping people. That's why we're here. At least I feel that way.
I don't know why, any other reason to, like, I've contemplated this, meditated on it for 15 years, and I truly believe that the reason we are here is to help our fellow man, or
absolutely,
or woman, and
woman.
Yeah, I really do. I mean, you know, we all have these egos that are, you know, very some are more self-centered than others, but at the end of the day, it's all about helping other people.
It is. It's all about the families. It's all about, you know, raising our kids to where they understand their value. You and I probably struggled with that a lot when we were kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I often felt pushed on the back burner, and, you know,
yeah.
And if my mom had been raised differently, then I might have been raised differently, but I can stop that.
Yep.
And I raised my kids differently, and my grandson's being raised differently. And if I can, in my own small way, reach out and help strangers that become friends to be able to do any of that, it's a good day. It's a win.
I completely agree. Completely agree. So how would everybody on here follow you if they wanted to follow you? Is there a place that they can find all your social media?
Absolutely. It's Simplify My Life, ICT.
Say it again. You broke up there a little bit.
Simplify My Life, ICT.
ICT.
For Wichita. ICT.
Okay.
And
.com?
that's Wichita. .com is my website. Facebook, Simplify My Life. Instagram, Simplify My Life.
Awesome.
And they can follow me. I'm very active on my social.
What if somebody has a question they'd like to ask you about a situation that they think maybe you can help them? I mean, do you immediately charge them, or will you help them out?
No, absolutely not. If you have questions and, you know, I can help, you can IM me, you can comment on a post, ask me questions, and I can help you, and it costs you nothing. That's still a win.
Yeah.
It's still changing a life. It's still a huge blessing.
Yeah.
I believe everything we do, it just keeps going forward, you know?
Yeah.
So, no, absolutely, Ken. If they have questions, I'm not in it for the money. I like getting paid when I work hard, but it isn't about the money for me.
Right. That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, is there anything else that you would like to share with my audience before we wrap this up? That again, remember that, you know, this is all about helping people get unstuck.
Right. The one thing that I would like to share, especially with parents, is make sure your kids have skin in the game. so much anymore. I see a mom in a home doing everything, even for her teenage children. And we are moms for such a short period of time, and we're there to teach our kids how to have some responsibilities. The world is not going to just treat them the same way that you are. So if they have skin in the game, it helps them have more gratitude. It helps them appreciate things more. It also makes it easier on you.
I love that answer. Love it. My wife and I have had this conversation about our 8-year-old. I'm like, you gotta teach her how to run the vacuum cleaner. Like, she's 8.
My grandson does.
Right.
And he's going to be 3.
Wow, that's
and
awesome.
He's cleaned his room since he was 18 months old.
Wow. See, that's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with it. And I think that, again, you know, we have to, I think it was, I'm not sure who it was, Shakespeare or one of those really smart people said, the greatest disservice that we do to our children is steal away their hunger. And,
absolutely. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I you know, I had a very rough upbringing in a lot of ways, but I'm also very, very grateful that, you know, I remember I moved out at I don't know, I think I was almost 17 or something, and I went back to my mom at one point, and I said, I need help. I'm starving. I haven't eaten in a couple of days. The truth was I was spending everything I had on booze, but you know, and she looked at me and she said, I love you, but you need to go figure it out on your own. I'm not helping you. Yeah.
I moved out when I was 17 too.
Yeah.
Moved out my senior year.
You know, it was probably the best thing she could have ever done for me, because I had to go figure it out on my own. I had to figure it out. I had to get a job. I had to make money. I had to figure out how to survive. And I think that you're 1,000% spot on. Our children need to clean their own damn rooms. They need to do the dishes. They need to vacuum. They need to help.
Right.
It'll
help them appreciate what they have. We need to teach our children gratitude for exactly where they're at and what they have. And it doesn't mean that they can't have or they don't deserve more when they've earned it. But just handing it to them just creates clutter.
Yeah.
It truly does.
Well, you've got some of your fans on here, Willa and Jerry Cook Carroll. Like they're saying some really nice things about you. So,
awesome.
Well, listen, I'm very, very grateful that you took the time to hop on here with me today and share a little bit of, give everybody a peek into your life. And you know, I know that you can help so many people. So, you know, everybody that if you walk through your house right after this live stream and look around, if there is clutter and it's been there for more than a day, reach out to Rachel. I think she can help you.
Well, I've got a quick challenge for everybody. For 1 week, just 1 week, everybody in the family gets rid of 5 things every day. Now, here's the rule. Only you get to decide what's close to you. Nobody else gets to decide that. At the end of the week, a family of 4 would get rid of 100 things out of their home.
Wow.
Right?
Wow. That's intense. I don't know.
It's so easy.
I don't know that we could do that.
You can do it.
No,
you can do it. Start
we
with
just need a bigger house. I'm just kidding.
That's what everyone says. You have a big house.
Yeah. Well, listen, I genuinely appreciate you. You're an amazing. I watch you. I've seen you online so many times, and you just seem like such a sweet and genuinely good person. And that's what I love about you. So,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for taking the time to come on the show and share with everyone. Make sure that you're following Rachel. Go follow her. She's tagged in this post. Make sure that you're following her and on Facebook or Instagram or wherever. And Rachel, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ken. It was a true pleasure. I wish you tons and tons of continued success.
Thank you. I genuinely appreciate that. To everybody on Facebook who shared this out and liked it or loved it, we got a few laughing cry faces even, so that's good. I consider that a win. So thank you so much, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Have an awesome day. Thank you, Rachel.